I'm Japanese, but I'm Japanese that was born in Italy.
I consider my home wherever my parents is, but technically now it would be Japan. It's kind of hard for me because I moved a lot being in the military. I spent 8 years in Alaska, over 10 in Japan, and 2 in Germany, but I would consider Japan my home.
I was originally born in Indonesia, and I lived there for about 9-10 years. And after that, I moved to Okinawa, Japan, and I stayed there for 10 years. For me, I feel like where I was raised up at my teenage lifetime is gonna be my home, and in that case, that would be Okinawa, Japan. But at the same time, I visited my mom's country, Malaysia, every year, and because I know that there's many relatives over there, I feel so welcome, and I also feel that as a home too.
But I have lived in Italy for 2 years, and 7 years in Japan, and 6 years in Portugal, and 3 years in Chicago. I have lived in so many different countries, and I've learned a lot of cultures. I think learning those cultures have different effects on my own identity, and those different effects constructs my own identity that others don't have.
That's kind of hard. My identity, I feel like it's my ethnicity, what I am. So being in Japan, even though I really don't look Japanese and I kind of felt like an outsider, their culture and being around my grandma and my cousins who are like full-on Japanese helped my identity grow. But to me, my identity is being mixed. I don't consider myself just Japanese or just American. I always emphasize on being both. I can't just exclude one.
Well, because I was raised in Indonesia and my mom and dad are from different kind of countries, people think that it's hard for me to decide where I consider my identity from, but I consider it for myself as like a person from the earth that belongs to the earth, a single person that belongs to the earth. And it's not because I'm not interested in the cultures that I had, but I respect it, and I've studied a lot about it, and in that case I'm really flexible in adapting those kind of environment. So I consider myself as 地球の人だ.
Like most of the time, when I speak Japanese in Japan, they always say me that I speak so well Japanese. And I answer, I'm Japanese, so that's natural that I speak. But from Japanese point of view, it seems like that I'm not Japanese.
Difficult for me would be stereotyping and just being judged, I guess. They look at me and just by looks, they're like, oh, I'm pretty sure they can tell I'm American and I speak English. But when I do speak Japanese, a lot of people get really shocked, or they're like kind of scared, like they don't believe it, or people speak Japanese around me and they're talking about me because they don't think I can speak Japanese. So I feel like it's shocking just because of the way you look. The way someone looks tells a lot about someone. You always stereotype or make generalizations about a person just by the way they look, and you never really know. But I guess that'll be the hardest part, is to prove to them, you know, that I kind of belong here and I'm part of them without them looking down upon me.
Being familiar with the other country, I think that's the most important and really difficult thing that I have learned in my life. Like when I moved from Japan to Portugal, I really had difficulty of living there. That's because I need to learn Portuguese, I need to learn Portuguese culture, learn how to live in Portugal, what to buy, what to know. I I had to change a lot of things. I think that kind of change made me feel difficulties.
Especially when it comes time to make friends. You know, I hear people have hard time because that they're different, they look different, their color are different. But in my case, yeah, I met some really good friends, and they're so helpful.
When I was little, I really did have identity issues. I grew up in Alaska, so that's mostly white people, and I'm not even part white, so that was a little difficult. And I did feel different. And being Japanese too, I felt different. Like, my mom speaks this language, she looks this way, my dad looks this way, and both of them don't look like anyone in our neighborhood. So I kind of was like, but everyone I made friends with seemed to accept who I was growing up. So I think the best thing is about just knowing who you are and knowing your culture is just amazing. To me, it doesn't make me have identity loss or identity issues anymore. When I grew up, I didn't really know who I was, but now that I'm older, it's awesome. Like, you can say you're part of this culture and part of this culture, and when you travel, you're able to accept more cultures. And I'm like, I love traveling. I've traveled to Africa, I traveled to Europe, so it helps me grow as a person.
We get a great connection with people from around the world, and their attitude from their country and from my country is really different. So sometimes there's maybe problems to adapt in that, but you get to learn that there's different perspective. So in the future, that's going to be a really good experience for understanding different kind of people's opinion, culture, religious. So that really helped me.
I said, being a TCK, I think they're so lucky of being a TCK because I feel lucky of being like that.
First, just be proud of yourself. Know that you're gonna face that time that you're different with everybody, and you don't want to be different. You want to be the same. You want to act the same. You want to look the same as everybody. But when time passes, everything changes. You gotta feel proud of yourself. Not so many people can have that experience. And appreciate your parents too, and your friends. That's what I want to say to TCKs.
So I would just say, embrace who you are, love the culture, love the background that you come from, even though you might go through some identity issues, or as you grow, you'll grow up to learn that being TC Kid is awesome. You have different cultures, you can experience different things, and I think you're ready to view the world in a different way. You're ready to go out there and see other cultures and embrace other things that other kids may not have the ability to. But since you have all these different cultures and you're just embraced in it and immersed in those cultures, it'll be easier for you. So it's a good thing, it's not a bad thing.